Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today I am going to be working on the murder mystery, The Murder at the Luau. And this is going to be paper piecing. And so the very first thing I do is I copied all of my paper pieces. Here's the originals. I'm going to show you here so you know what I'm talking about. So they give them to you in the download, so it's 4 pages worth. I take my originals and I keep them. I always want to keep my originals. I never want to use them. I print off 4 new ones, and as you can see through this paper. It is from C&T Publishing, so you can get on the website, which is ctpub.com, down here by my finger. And I just order this in packages. It tears off really easy. That's why I use it. And if I make a mistake, I can just print another one. The story this month is not as exciting as it was last month. Let me show you the fabric colors that I'm going to be using in this. Here are the 8 colors I'm going to be using. And what I do is I will take my papers and I will cut out all my pieces, and then I start working on it. And I will show you how to do one of them so you have an idea of how to paper piece, and I will do the rest, and then I'll show them all to you. Now, another thing that I like about this pattern is that they always refresh your memory, as you can see on this page, on how to make it in case you've forgotten and it's been a while. And they give lots of tips for marking your fabric so you don't get your colors mixed up, all kinds of things. When you've cut out all your pieces, they should look like this. Now you want to iron all of your fabric before you assemble it on the paper piecing. So I'm going to pick a good size piece to show you how to do it. So this not only has a big piece, it'll have a big piece of paper here, a big piece of fabric here, but it'll have small ones down here. So this is the one I'm going to show you how to do. And if you notice here on the side, when I printed mine out, part of it was missing. So all I did was took an extra piece of paper, which this is that paper that I'm using. I taped it on both sides, front and back, and then I just drew with a pencil where it's supposed to be the line so that I'm not missing any of the line, because I want to make sure my fabric comes all the way out. All right, so I'm going to show you how I do this. It says that the large piece of fabric is BG1. This is BG1. And all I did was flipped it over, take my template, which is what I'm calling this paper piecing sheet, cover it to see if it will fit totally over this entire amount right here. It needs to cover that whole area. And this one will fit, so now I'm going to go iron it, and then I'm going to cut it just off at the edge here so I don't have anything hanging over in order to place it. And then I'll show you how to do that. After I did the BG1, I went ahead, I cut out a piece for that, which is this one here. So we know that that one will fit in there. Oops. Whichever way we turn it, it's going to fit. It needs to be this area right here. Okay, so I moved that aside and I did every one of them. So the next one was the FF3. I did it, made sure I could cover it. The AC7, which is the white one, down here, I made sure I could cover that one, this one, and that one. So I made sure that I got all my colors out here, so now I know that I'm going to use all these in this block. So that's what I'm going to do. So to begin with, this is considered J's, because if you look, it says J1, J2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, that's the order that you put the pieces together. So the first thing we're going to do is J1. And FF3 is this color. So we're going to do that one first. So you look at it. This is the first one we're going to do. You flip it upside down. Your first piece of fabric, right side up. Now, this is where if you want to put a piece of glue, the glue that I use, and I'll put a little dab of glue right here in the middle, and it's only going to hold the fabric down temporarily, and it only needs to be done for the first one. And something's in there, it looks like part of the cap. So after you have this first piece glued on there, you take your second piece and you're going to put the right side fabric. You want it to overlap. So I want it to overlap on the right and the left for a seam. And if that was sewn, because it's going to be sewn on there, and this got flipped over, it covers that area. All right? Because that's what you're looking for. So this piece will fit. And if it doesn't work out, you can always take it off. So you hold it, you flip your paper over, and then you sew on this first line. Make sure you put your stitch at either 1.2 or 2 so it doesn't pull your paper apart. I mean, so that your paper is easier to take apart. It doesn't pull your stitches out. That's what I meant to say. Slowly stitch on the line. No need to do any back stitching. You're going to take it, you're going to flip it over and smooth it down. And that's your number 2. And it covers it really well. Now I need to be putting number 3 on, so my 3 is the red, which is this fabric here. And this is where we take the extra off. So you're going to bend your fabric to the line, and let me go get my ruler. You take your @ ruler or your regular ruler, makes no difference. This one has a little locking mechanism. Oop, and I don't have enough fabric over here. I needed more fabric. See how that's not enough? I needed a 1/4 inch to come out there. So I have to take that one off. That piece is too small. Alright, let's see if that would work. Okay. So let's take it over there. Here's our bigger amount. Yes, that will cover it. Okay. Now when we fold this back, and we're going to take it off, so we have a 1/4 inch seam allowance showing right here. And you flip it back over, and that fits. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at number 3, which is this red, and hopefully it will be enough. My needle down on the edge of the line, and then I put my foot down and go across. You do not want to go beyond your line either, because you're going out into the 1/4 inch seam if you do that. I'm going to put this forward. Probably ought to do right there. There we go. That's so much better. Now you flip it over to look, and see how it goes all the way outside the line? That's perfect. Now the next color is going to be AC7, which is white, which is this little piece here, and yes, that will fit. Fold your paper back. You're going to take your 1/4 inch ruler or your regular ruler, take off the excess. We're going to, now this is where I've got to be careful, because this is white on white, so I have to put this facing down because you want your right sides together. Take it over here to the sewing machine, and you want to sew it. Flip it over. And then all the colors are on there. We can take our 1/4 seam. And actually, I flip the ruler upside down now, and I'll trim this excess off right here. Take all the excess off. Don't cut out any of your lines. And then all we got left is the large blue piece right here to put on there. All right, so after I got to looking at that, that is too skimpy. I needed a bigger piece because it was really going to be hard. This should be big enough piece. All right. One more stitch. Uh-oh. I didn't clear the paper. Oh my gosh. Huh. Alright, that is not going to work. Oh my goodness. My number 3. Alright, let's start over because this paper, this fabric did not come out far enough right here. So that's a mistake. So I've got to take that out. That was my first piece. I didn't even realize it when I put it together. So I've got to take all this out and start over. Alrighty, we take fabric number 1. Wait a minute. It's right side up. Alrighty, right sides together here. We're going to stitch between number 1 and number 2. There it is. That's what the block looks like when it's completely finished and totally correct. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest. You guys finish up the rest and I will show them all when I'm finished. Now I've made all the paper piecing squares. I haven't put them together yet, but I'm going to show you, if you're following this, the layout. So this is the original paper and it says 3-1. So what I did was, here's the paper piecing. It looks like that when you get done, because when you did this, keep in mind that you did it so that you could read this paper. You don't do it on the other side of the paper. Now, it goes with these, but you need to know that they're backwards. Don't be panicked and think you've sewed them all backwards, because you haven't. You just take them and then you lay them upside down to match it. This way you can still read it. And this is how you know that you've got all of them done. I went along and I laid them out just like I said. So it's 3-1, which are these 2 blocks. The 3-3 is 3 blocks. The 5-1 is 3 blocks. It's got the little block. And the 6-2 has also 3 blocks. Or 3 squares or 3 pieces, or however you want to say it. Now what you do, based on the directions, are we're going to sew these 2 together. This is our line to sew on right here. This is our 1/4 inch. I'm going to put them together based on the units, because I'm going to be sewing these 3 units together. They show you how to do it. This page here, this 3, those 3, and those. And then when I get them all together, it's going to end up with 4 blocks. So I will show you those. Here's all 4 of the blocks completed, and now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story. It won't take but a couple of minutes. Okay, so I told you that the story is not much, and what happened was that after she got back out of the ocean to the beach, she went ahead and got in her car. People tried to stop her and help her, but she didn't want anybody's help. She just wanted to get out away from there because she was scared. Next day when she woke up, she hit the road real quick just so she could get away. So she went ahead and went to this botanical garden. So while she was in this little botanical garden, she's just like sort of like in her own little world, a girl approached her. Now this is one of the girls that was back at the beginning of the story. She was there at the Luau when the murder happened. They got to talking. She really wanted to be by herself, but this girl approached her and she was trying to be nice. She was standing in front of a statue, Kitty was, and so but she didn't know what it was, and she was trying to figure out who had carved this. It was a big wooden statue. And so the girl come up and she goes, "That's called a tiki." And she goes, "It's a tiki?" And she said, "Yeah." She says, "Do you know the story about it?" And she goes, "No, I don't." So this young girl went ahead and explained the entire story about 2 sisters and a man, so you can already imagine the story. But anywho, at the tail end after the storytelling, the girl went away, and Kitty wondered, what the heck are you doing at a botanical garden? You need to get back down the mountain, and that's where she headed. Which kind of makes you wonder why, of all the people in the story, and I know I'm just fishing here, that they had Lacey mentioned in this part of the story. Because remember now, we have not figured out who murdered who yet. And so every time they mention somebody, it might be that they're the murderer and you're kind of supposed to be reading in between the stories. So far, I have not figured out this story. So I hope you all liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, and thank you very much for watching, and welcome all my new YouTube subscribers.